All right. I am back. This is Jason. Gonna say hi. Can you see me as I lean on in? Got some details here. So what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna look through Oathsworn contents a little bit deeper. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anything. So there's no spoils here, right? If you've been following, then the first thing has already been spoiled. And what's that? That's the rat, right? This is the first boss, okay? And he comes with 12 rats that you can see here. I'm doing a Tom Vassal, you know, just dropping things everywhere. So, and I've already painted him. So we already know what that looks like. I'm gonna shove that to the side. And we're just gonna look at content, and you might be sick of hearing from me. I just did a video on the new CMON announcement, Cthulhu Death May Die, which is right over there. You can't see it, but I'm staring at it right here in my case. Oh my, I'm excited for that. Okay, so this is the way the game comes. I'm gonna show you this. It comes in 3 boxes. Okay, there's a mysterious terrain box that's out there somewhere. I don't have it, but that's what it is. Oh, and you also get a surprise. Let me show you that. If you don't want to see the secret surprise, look away. Look away. But this is the secret box. You may open this box. It's just a gift. I don't think it has anything to do with the store, but it's this fully painted miniature. Check that guy out. It's the bear, the war bear, with claws, Wolverine-like claws. Okay. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool little free thing. Not sure it's useful. Don't know where it's going to come in. Maybe it comes in the story. Maybe it doesn't. So you got your main game, and then you got mystery chest 1 and 2. And let me explain these mystery chests so we can just get that out of the way. And I'm going to show you. So this is no spoilers here. Each one is full of boxes, numbered boxes. That's it. And they just look like that, right? And then we're not going to open that. Don't worry. And some of them are, like this one is a square symbol. No. And that'll probably supplement one of these. And so what's happening is that this, as I talked to you yesterday, is a story boss battler. There's the story game, which is a part of it, probably maybe 30%. And then boom, the boss battler. These boxes are the boss battlers. This rat and its minions came in a couple boxes. So you go through the story, and then it's going to tell you, go to this box, you're going to open it up, and then you get to go paint it. Or if you want, or sun drop it. Interestingly enough, I've just been looking at my Ether Fields game, and I think I'm going to sun drop it. And there's this great sun drop video on YouTube, of all places. Ha ha ha. Right? Okay. And I'm going to go sun drop everything. Not this. This stuff I'm actually going to paint. So we're excited. Okay. So when you open the game, you get this. Warning, this is mysterious. Don't go digging around through crap. And it has this big first time setup. Set all of your stuff up. All your cards up. My wife went through this, and we spent 3 hours one afternoon just setting it up. We were also talking and watching football games. But this is what we did. So when you first get it, you're going to go through this setup. There's no spoilers there. Go through it in details. And she did most of it, so I'm actually kind of beholden to her and how it worked. I did have to help her in some ways. Now, here's a controversial piece of the game. Not this piece of paper. It's not controversial. It's the characters. So let's show you that. Show you the characters. Okay. And here they are. And there's a big warning, push to fit design. And you can see the 2 that we've done, and my friends have the other 2 that they're playing, and they're painting them. In fact, I got a picture of one. If I can remember, I'll include it on this video. But I love the size of these miniatures. Look, I mean, if you can really see that, they're just big. They're nice and big. I really like the size. Some people don't. But the whole deal is that these are pushed to fit. And the idea is, let's try to get one that makes sense, like this guy. The idea is he's got a chain, right? You can see he's got a chain, and let's do it this way. I think this is a chain over here. So he's got a chain attack. And yeah, obviously you're like, well, this just isn't sticking in there. No, it does not. And then he maybe has a shield over here. And then his head comes off, and then you squeeze the whole thing together and it stays together. Well, it doesn't stay together. And that's okay, because I just glued them together. Now, you can see this axe is glued. This big long halberd there, those are glued. The issue is, later on, I'm going to open one of these boxes in the 2 mystery chests, and it's going to have extra swords and shields, and I'm going to be able to pop this out and put the other on. Except for I'm not going to be able to do that. Because why? Because I'm gluing mine on. So this is the shield I'm going to be stuck with. So follow along, my friends. Follow along, my friends, because it's entirely possible that I will come to regret this decision later on. Probably not, actually, but you never know. So those are the characters. What are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 characters to choose from. We should do a dedicated character video someday. And then these are, like these are little plants. And these look like men-at-arms. These are the allies, I think. These are, oh, I forgot to give these. These are the to the huntress. She has 2 falcons that she can send out. I forgot to give her. That's the huntress picture I'm going to show you. My friend, she painted that. And then there's this rock dude. So we don't know what any of those are. I do think these 4 guys are allies that come in when you die and take over. And these plant guys, yeah, they're for something. Probably one of the character classes. So I don't know everything. But you go through this whole process, and now we'll look at some things. Okay, here is the main board. This is the encounter board. You know, I've been getting a lot of boards lately that don't lay out flat. You undo them, and they just don't work. And they drive me nuts. And so on some of my Kickstarters, I've been going with the neoprene mat for that reason. That drives me nuts. Now look at this. It's got a nice big board. It has these hexes, which your characters fit in. Big hexes. So it's a beautiful board. It's got north, south, west on it. And if you do the rules, it matters. And this kind of lays flat. It's a little bit better than some, but not completely. So lately, I'm just not happy with boards. I wish that was just laying flat. Maybe if this is the other side, kind of a more gravelly coloration. So that's interesting, but still, that's not quite flat, right? That's why I'm kind of leaning towards neoprene mats. Maybe I should just leave that out and put some books on it and get it flat. Okay? That's what it is. Now you're going to get these series of mystery envelopes. This is kind of cool, right? And we have opened A already. It starts with A, so that's no spoiler, right? Jason, don't tell me it's mystery envelope A! I ruined it for you. Whole story's over. Okay, and inside our mystery envelope with some information, a map, and some cool stuff. So this is how they do this. And I suppose, I'm guessing these are cities or places or locations, but maybe there's new rules, maybe there's new cool stuff. I don't know. Mysteries. This is kind of a cool thing. I gotta tell you, cool. Cool. Now, remember I told you my wife put everything together. One of the things she put together was this box of tokens. A lot of tokens. Game uses a lot of tokens, but it also creates this nifty little plastic tray holder. So I'm positive on that. I do like that. Now let's talk about, so here's some terrain pieces, right? Here, I told you I got the terrain sets. Yeah, these are the tokens for terrain. I don't have the real trees yet. Now some people have said they've got the trees and they've done the walls or whatever they are, buildings. I'm not sure what's all in it. And they've said it's too cumbersome on the board. I highly doubt I will say that. I highly imagine I will love them, but we'll see. For now, it's those until these mystery things show up. Okay, so these things come. Okay, so this is an interesting thing to talk about. Again, no spoilers. We're not spoiling anything. There's 2 methods of randomization in the game. One, you can already see it, dice, right? If you're a dice chucker, and in our first game, we chuck dice. The other way is cards, So I'll show you an example of cards. One of these is for the monsters and one is for humans. I don't know which is which. I can't tell you. My wife knows this answer. I asked her once. Anyways, doesn't matter. So you've got these, and you would shuffle them together, okay? You shuffle your white cards together, and then it goes white, just so you know, it goes white, yellow, red, black. And the higher the color, the more powerful the cards. So these are the weakest cards. And the way the combat system works, it's just simple. Roll, add up all your stuff, and divide it by their shield. Simple. Roll, add up all your things, divide it by their shield. So if you roll a 10 and their shield's 2, you do 5 damage. Okay? But, and here's the big thing. You can miss. And you miss by drawing 2 blanks. So anytime you draw 2 blanks, and it lets you pull as many cards as you want. So I might go, you know what? Screw it. I'm pulling 10 cards. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're like, well, I'm just going to kill this guy in one blow, right? Yeah. No, you're not, because almost surely, right, there's a 1, there's a 0, there's a blank. So 1 blank misses already. There's a 2, there's a 1, there's the second blank. I've missed. So I drew all these cards. Didn't do me any good. Didn't do me any good. So here's the thing. If you use the cards, you can start to game the system. You start to game it. You start to see what's coming, right? If a whole bunch of blanks go by, say 3 blanks go by or 4, you say, wait a minute, I calculate by odds. You're a card counter. The odds of me getting higher numbers and less blanks go up and up. So if you're that kind of player, and you like to play the odds and you like to take advantage of the odds in small ways, but enough that it makes sense, then you're going to want to play with the cards. If, on the other hand, you don't care about that and you're a dice chucker, then you got the dice. And the way the rules are, you can go back and forth anytime you want. Like you might look at the bottom of the deck and have counted cards and know that there's 6, I think there's 18 cards and 6 of them are blank. So you might say, all 6 are left. That's all that's left. And you might go, well, I don't want to pull from that, so I'll start rolling dice because my odds get better. You can flip back and forth. Pretty cool. Pretty cool little mechanic. So far in the first game, we chuck dice, and the monsters always pull cards. That's just the way they do it. So let's see. Okay, so you got your cards. They do that system, or the dice. Then, let's see. Let's see what we got in here. So we got these animus symbols, which I'll explain in a second. And these red dice, there's actually some 12-sided dice in there. Don't know what those are for, but these red dice are your hit points. Everyone's got 6 hit points. And so I'm a little worried about that. I'd like to have more than 6, but here's some standee figures. I don't know what those are going to be for. Little standee people. Haven't heard anything, hide no hair about them. And then each character comes with its own little black bag. So I'll show you this. Right, this is for the witch. Okay, so each character's, all its cards, all its saved items go in the bag. That's kind of nice. Except for, as we played it, we figured out that they didn't all kind of fit. All the animus, all the extra tokens, all the things didn't quite fit. So we added, here's the Huntress, we added Ziplocs. We upgraded. High quality Ziplocs. And then there's a free company bag too. So you're called the free company. So your 4 players come together and they each got their own individual stuff, right? My stuff is stuff, your stuff is what? George Carlin. Okay, free company has, as a group, you have a group of stuff too. So you can save loot and keep it there. Here are some cubes. Now right now we've only used the yellow cubes. They're might cubes, and that means once you have an item that gives you might, you get to pull a yellow card for every might cube. And I see red cubes and black cubes, so I'm assuming someday I'm going to gain might in red and might in black, which is more and more powerful as it goes. Okay? And so this whole system of characters in the bags it's how it goes. And then these are iron coins, and I don't know, my memory isn't perfect here, but I think I upgraded also to metal coins, so my missing trees are also with my metal coins. I am a snob. Do you know that? You guys listening, do you know this? I'm a snob. I hate cardboard coins. Metal coins all the way. Pay for the upgrade, my friends. Once you go metal, you never go back. Then we got some timers. Don't know what those are for. Haven't used them yet. Okay. Now, you can't see it in here, but here's the 4 boxes that my wife spent all that time putting together. And here's a little end box. I don't know what's even in that. It'll tell us. The story will eventually tell us when to do it. So here's allies, common items, curative. She organized all this. Encounters 1 through 6, 1 through 5, encounters 16 through 21. So it does look like there's 21 things. So you put those together. You used all the dividers. It's very clear. It's well designed. I told you about that, right? This is the opening, how to do it. So you go through that process. Took us 3 hours. We might be slow. We were also talking and watching football. Here's some unique items, common items. There's a Grove Maiden. I don't think she actually belongs there, but that's where we put her. I don't think she fit here. She doesn't fit. So, and then there's another box. And these are all numbered, and so when the game tells you go to box 2, common items, this, boom, there it is. There it is. Okay, so the last thing we have, I'll show you, in this big box there's 2 different things. These, you'll see these, again, we're not ruining anything, are your special rules and encounter boards. So each time you meet a boss, like we met this rat, right? My hand was in the way of the camera, right? So we met the rat, and it had a special rules board, and it had an encounter board. And like I said, I can see now there's 21, so there's 21 adventures. Maybe there's some side quests in there. People like side quests, right? And so when you flip these over, I'm not going to flip it over, I'm not going to spoil it. It's going to give you the stats for your monster and how to run it and all that fun stuff. So these are the boards on how they run the monsters. And there's some free company stats where you keep track of your treasure and stuff that you gain along the way. And then here are the characters. Now I'm going to do a separate video for every character. I've looked through 6 of them, and they're item cards. So each character comes with a deck of cards. So this is the Ranger. So let's go find the Ranger. I'm playing the Harbinger. That's my character there, and there I painted it. My wife took Ursus Warbear. She painted it, right? And our friends took, let's see if I'm correct, Exile. He's painting that. That should be ready by Sunday's game session. And the Huntress. That's the one I have a picture of. She finished her painting today and sent it to me. So here you go. Here's your character, right? That you flip over in a simplified version, a more complex version, and there is your cards that go with it. And so it's just kind of like, we just recently played, what was the game we played? Bardsum, and each character had a main board, if I remember right. Oh yeah, that tray. And then you have cards. So it has specific cards to your ability. So each character comes with a deck of cards, and you don't get them all at first, but as you gain more power, you get more and more abilities. And it's kind of like the way the game plays. I'll give you a simplistic version of this, is you take actions, and your actions are your cards. So your card, lets you flip over and hit someone, or take a double shot, or put into a defensive status. And so you got to play your cards, and they cost energy, which they call animus in this game, and I think I already showed you that. So everybody gets a certain amount of animus, and you use that as your energy, right? In other games, they might say you can move once and attack once, or move twice or attack twice, right? That's a simple way of doing it. This way, they divide it up into animus, which is a little bit more refined way of doing actions. So you have, this character starts with 7 animus, and the Ranger, and then she, or he, it's a she, she's got some boobs, she uses that. And each space you move on the board, which I showed you over there, takes an animus. So it's a little bit of your energy, right? You're spending it to move, and you could spend all 7 animus for this character. I'm sure it can go up, but as you gain levels, but so you could use all 7 animus, all your energy to move. There you go. Or you could divide it up and use your cards and all this range of abilities. Now, obviously, the way the game's going to be cool, and I've just seen the hint of it, is the combos. You know, anytime you have cards, you want to do combos, and you want to spend 3 for one and 2 for another and 2 for another and combo it up and kick butt, right? And again, I'm going to spend some time because I think it would be useful for everyone in a non-spoiler way to really dive into each of these characters and get some real ideas. Now, when I did that for Bard Song, I got some really cool responses from people. Some of the characters I thought looked stupid. People said, no, play them for a while, they're pretty cool. And if you haven't seen my Bard Song coverage, don't go see it, because I ended up not liking the game and ended up selling it. So I keep saying, is that going to happen with Oathsworn? Oathsworn out of the gate is making a much better impression with me. I've already played the game, I've read the rules, they're not that bad. Oh, obviously there would be a whole bunch of books. Let me pause this and I'll show you the books, because there is something I'm missing in this. I'm not going to pause it, I'm just going to go over and get them, and then I'll cut it out of the video when I edit it. Yep, still here. Just walking in the other room. Walking in the other room. All right, just walking in the other room. Boom! I'm back. So, the last pieces are these storybooks, chapters 1 through 11, 12 through 21, and all the stories are there. You can't read that, spoilerific. And there is an app. There's an app, and it's so far it's a wonderful app. It's got great voice acting, and basically the stuff that you would read here, it'll read for you, and you can just manipulate on the app. I kind of like it. I love the acting. I think they did a high quality job on it, really high quality, and I like it because it just makes we all sit around and listen to it instead of me reading this aloud or one of the people reading it aloud. There's a journal. Haven't seen this nor why I would want it. Also spoiler stuff. This is a time track. So this is an interesting mechanic. I should explain this. When you're in the city, that's the story portion. So far it's a city, but it might be something different later on. You might say, well, I just explore around. But they have a mechanic. You have a certain amount of time, right? This is chapter 2. This is your time, right? I don't know where chapter 1 is. I wonder if we took that out, because I don't see it. It starts with chapter 2. And then the time goes down. And then certain things you can see happen. I'm not going to read them. And then at the end of the time, you're done. And you got to go to the encounter. So this is a mechanic that keeps you from, exploring the whole city and spending hours and hours there. You've got a time crunch. You got to decide what you do. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a cool little mechanic. And then you got different books. When I first got this, I was really disappointed in one thing, and I'll tell you this. I think I just heard from the designer of the book, and he was hoping it was, he spent 6 months writing this book. Good for him. I still don't think it was as clear as it could have been. I really don't. I think this is one of those rule books that when you go back and read it, it's all there. Just tight, little tight. I don't want tight. I want it to be tight, but I want you to talk to me as if I'm teaching you the game. Like if you come to my house, I'm going to sit to you, and like I've already explained how some of these things work. I explain it. These books are these technical manuals, and so if you miss a line, you're just screwed. So I want a manual, and I know I'm in the minority here, that talks to me like I'm a person and says, hey, Jace, the first book you want to work, like if you open this thing here, it gives you this note, warning, stop, turn the page over, boom, do this. And for the most part, this is okay. Again, it's a little technical, then it doesn't tell you which book to read first. Story encounter. I got 2 rule books. Which one? Come on, guys. Just tell me. Next thing you do, this. And then you open the page and you say, hey, have you read this? You should be reading this first. If you're over here, open this. Hey, did you read the storybook first? Because you should do that first. Talk to me. Rule books can talk to me. I think they could be a lot better. Yes, I know. I should probably write some rule books or do something about it, right? Instead of complain. So, story rule book, how the stories work. That's your choose your own adventure path. even though you really don't choose your own adventure path, because what you ultimately do is come to the encounter, which we know there's 21 of them, and this is the rules for combat. This is how the whole thing works. This is it. You know, range, allies in combat, playing your cards, ability effects, empowering cards, movement, tons of movement rules. And then here's the encounter book. So this is the description of each of the 21 encounters, right? And then here's this cool how to repack your box. Hey, I don't know if you can see a little, this is gold. Thank you. Okay, that's it. That's the stuff. That's it. Everything. I'm not showing you the app, but suffice to say, it's a beautiful app. It's got cool sound, great voice acting. I like it. This is it. This is why this whole thing couldn't come in retail, because you have these 2 boxes full of miniature encounters that you just couldn't do. Now maybe they'll do a version where someday in retail where this is bigger, and they'll do standees. I saw a video, Shay from Rado runs through it, and he was talking how much he just loves the standees versus the miniatures, and I think he is crazy. Look at this. You want to play with a standee, or do you want this rat chasing you down? I want the rat chasing you down. Here's a good little warning. Don't look at these cards. That's for these cards. Each one is a spoiler. Okay, everybody. What do you think of Oathsworn so far? I have not spoiled anything, story elements or anything like that. To give you a little frame of where we're at, we'll be finishing painting up some things, and so we'll do the first story this Sunday. We'll do the first encounter, which I've already fought him once, but I'm going to fight him again this time with my 2 friends, and the 4 of us are going to do it for official, and we'll learn the game, and I'll teach it to him, and then we're going to do the story again, and then at 9 o'clock we're going to watch House of Dragon, and then we will open the box it tells us to open, one of these 2 mystery chests, and over the week we'll encounter the next 20 chapter 2 painted and ready to go. Now what could throw a wrench in all that? Obviously we don't play or something like that, but what if the game sucks? I mean, what if it sucks? No one is saying it sucks. I don't know. I worry. I have a worry. It's starting to worm its way into my thinking. You know what that worry is? That these encounters are going to take too long. That you're going to go, oh yeah, the monster has 2,000 hit points and it's going to take 8 hours to kill it. And you're going to like, oh, maybe that's too much for me. That's my worry. I don't know why I have that worry. I want it to be a solid, meaty combat, but I don't want it to be too long. Okay, everybody, this is Jason. This has been our presentation of the Game Warrior. This is the components of Oathsworn. I would love to hear from you. Tappa, tappa, tappa. Come in with your comments, your questions. Talk to me about House of the Dragon, Rings of Power. I'm going to do a video just about those 2. Hint, Rings of Power is terrible. And we'll go from there. Until then, I'll see you next time.